I might be a meme, I might be a Belgian waffle, but in any case, I'm Helium Lemon 15. And welcome back to my playthrough slash walkthrough slash corn diddle, paradiddle, leaflet of Copper Odyssey, an indie game on Steam. An indie game on Steam, which I'm super excited about. I've collected a print, blah blah blah, this is a very good one. Those are real eyes you have. I have great interest in the prints coming from this area. The weatherman had many interesting things to say this morning, and this is good weather. Alright. So, basically, when you go into the girls' bathroom, it's the entrance to Magenta Desert, which is like World 2 of this game. You have Cyan is number 1, and then Magenta is number 2. The order is CMYK. We still haven't beaten the Cyan boss, which is Seymour! Yes? Seymour, the house is on fire! No, Mother, those are just the northern lights. Be careful walking around here. We don't want you dying. Of boredom? Yeah, sure. Yay, money. Yeah, this is, the second world. There are enemies here, that's okay to admit. Admit it to yourself, admit it to your therapist. There are waterfalls, there are magenta holes in the ground, there are tents. I like the tents, but it makes it feel a bit like a military camp, you know, we're on an episode of MASH or something, I don't know. The tents just give it kind of a military vibe. Hi, Jax. Bye, Jax. Jax is a pixie, is that what it's supposed to be? That green girl, she'll save you one day. Bring the pink thing back to its owner. I don't know which one. I don't know either. You're scaring me. Thanks. Don't worry about some of these things around here. You're not a jealous person, are you? Eyes on the prize. I died from a man who was new here, and he looked a little something like you. So maybe you can give me some insight to what you've been doing lately. Why do you want to know? Get this guy out of here, Monitor. He's already gone. Whatever, I don't talk to ghosts anyway. I can't even see him. How am I going to talk to something I can't see? I'm not nuts. Oh, really? You're going on an adventure? Good for you. I'm glad you have the time. These things can go by at your own pace. I wasn't much of a talker myself until I met someone who wanted me to shut up. I don't know you, and I'm afraid it's too late to be interested, but feel free to be interested in me. If you are alone, you may not be doing your job You may not be doing your job to the best of your ability. If you think you need it, seek help. Those things might be clues, they might not be, but we're doing fine, I guess. This is a thing. It doesn't do anything, which is kind of disappointing. I wish it did something. Maybe it does something and it's not unlocked until later in the game. Tarlatan emerges. So, I'm trying to break down what just happened there in terms of turns. Also, so Magenta Desert, the main antagonist is Emma, and Emma's cool. She is addicted to ether and lives in a mirror, which I think gives this whole level a very cool, almost kind of like Alice in Wonderland kind of feeling. I don't know. As Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, as it's also known. Through the Looking Glass had a mirror in it. It was literally about a mirror, so... This guy's name is Slow-Mo. Oh, I get it. Oh, that's terrible. Maybe I'm too harsh of a critic. So this guy gives us a teleporter charm, and I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't know how to use it last playthrough, but you go to supplies, you go to clothes, or you don't go to, no, you select monitor or whoever has it equipped, and then you go to crafts, and it counts as a craft even though it doesn't use any craft points or magic points. That's kind of one of my gripes with this game. It uses the craft point system, which I think I've already talked about in my playthrough of Suits, a business RPG. I don't like the craft system because you start out with 0 craft at the beginning of every battle, and you build up crafts by landing hits successfully or taking damage. But all your good moves require craft, and you can't use them at the beginning of the battle, and I just think that's cheap. So yes, now we can... Oh my god, I love this song. This song is just the most iconic song in the game. It's the reason I stuck with this game, even though it's so weird. I got such a good, like, fuzzy feeling from... Okay, Monitor goes once, Bad Girl goes twice. Is Bad Girl already going 3 times? And then Mr. Woodcut goes twice? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm seeing 6 or 7 hearts up on the screen. It's harder to keep track of... It's easy to keep track of when I'm playing. Not so much when I'm post-commentating because, you know... I'm not interacting with it hands-on. I'm just trying to... Okay. Monitor. Monitor's going first, trying to get a big hit. Bad Girl with the big hit sequel. Bad Girl with a normal attack. Woodcut going twice. Woodcut going 3 times. That's interesting. I wonder if that's because of the zinc armor. It might be because of the zinc armor, actually. I never thought about that, but that would actually make sense. Second chance found. Alright, so we're in the mid-20s now. I think that's a pretty good place for the first boss. We're kind of averaging about mid-20s. Which are... I mean, I'm 23, and it's a weird time. Just emotionally and trying to figure out everything. How to be an adult. And Monitor's 28, and one of my best friends is 28. Calvin is now 28, and I frickin' don't have my adapter on hand, and my computer just went into low battery, or battery saver mode. So, okay. It's fine, though. It hits battery saver at 20% or 19%, and I only have 7 more minutes of this video to go, so I think we'll be fine. I played Finding Paradise recently. It's made by Freebird Studio, who's sort of making this whole saga of games about people who help people and learn about their lives, and they fulfill their dying wish by altering their memories somehow. So it's kind of a sci-fi premise. So it's like sci-fi anime, if you can imagine that. Well, I guess that's not so uncommon. And it's not so much anime. I mean, but it's that kind of, you know, stock RPG Maker kind of Final Fantasy game with a few extra frills. In fact, it's got a lot of extra frills. It's the team is really good. Like, without spoiling anything, like there's a sort of a surprise like Street Fighter style battle and shmup section and like a Final Fantasy style battle, which is not surprising that there are battles in an RPG game, but these games are actually more story driven, so they're more like visual novel than... Seriously? They're more visual novel than RPG battle. These guys have like the coolest design out of enemy in the game. They're almost like Sheikahs out of Zelda, but like also sort of like paper skeletons. I don't know. Oh, thank you for giving us extra XP. Thank you for giving us more life. That's kind of random. The ghosts do look very funny. Do we have a lunchtime? We do have a lunchtime. The question is who to give more life to, and I chose Mr. Woodcut for whatever reason. We do have a lunchtime, but there's also one of those dogs or rabbits or whatever up ahead, or behind, whichever you like. that heals you. I like these. These guys are supposed to be like rabbits or whatever, but I just picture them all as like the like corgis, like the Dogecoin sort of. I don't know. Yes, everybody knows what corgis are. No, Dogecoin isn't a corgi. Dogecoin is something else. It's a different kind of dog. Anyway, this shall be our successful attempt at Mr. Blue Guy here. Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Guy, Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Guy, Mr. Blue Sky. Seymour! I can't even remember what part of the... Good lord, what is happening in there? Aurora Borealis? Seymour! Superintendent, I was just stretching my legs. Isometric exercise. Care to join me? Why is there smoke coming out of your oven? Ah, that's not smoke, that's steam. Steam from the steamed hams we'll be having. Mmm, steamed clams. Did I mess up? Did I say steamed hams the first time and steamed clams the second time? You know, I noticed that I sort of stop and start my sentences. I notice. I'm not unaware of this. I think I'm very high functioning, but, you know, I am definitely neurodivergent in some ways. I think I have a very mild stutter that just decides to manifest itself sometimes. And it's like, stutter doesn't mean that you can't speak, but stutter means that, like, speaking itself gives you anxiety. Like, and not all the time. I'm sure I'm sort of high functioning, and, like, I don't have a stutter all the time, obviously, but, like, you know, and yes, I know stopping in the middle of sentences is not the same thing as a stutter, but sometimes I do say, like, words twice just because I have to like fight my way to an end of a sentence, just because the act of getting it out of myself almost gives me anxiety. But when I don't think about it, it gets better. It's only when I think about it, when I think about the idea of having anxiety, it gives me more anxiety. It's a funny thing about the way anxiety works. You know, I just thought of who Mr. Woodcut reminds me of, but I just forgot it. It's the darndest thing. Bad Girl kind of reminds me of Lucy from Charlie Brown, but just green. I think Mr. Woodcut actually kind of reminds me of Strong Sad. It's kind of a mix between Strong Sad and, I'm not sure, maybe some like weird like stop motion character. Level 32. I'm gonna be 32 soon, in 9 years. I'm sure I'll have my life more figured out by then. A duel of the century must have a loser, and I cry that the loser is me! The kingdom was my reward, but to die in it. I'm not real anyway. What's the point? Go on, taste my blood. It's just ink from your print shop. Maybe this isn't the best kingdom to claim as my own. Take your tape back, Monitor. Maybe in another world, I could have been a normal student again. Goodbye, Monitor. And Seymour left the print studio. Tape! Anyway. I was worried that I made that too chipper, like the boss died and his dying words were goodbye, Monitor, and I made it like, goodbye, Monitor, I'll see you on Thursday. So, thank you for watching another very exciting, entertaining, climactic episode of Copper Odyssey. We finally beat the first world of the game, so it can only get better from here. So I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.